Jonathan Kleck was in the Air Force. I don't know if he ever said it or not, but he was. He has his Air Force hat, and he's a skydiver. So think about how involved he is. He's an artist that is showing off his artwork. He's drawn the angels. He gives you it's like when you have a patent for something worldwide, but you make a small scale sample to show people how it's going to work. That's one of the reasons why he has his little house there. He's trying to build an ark like Noah, and he's showing you projections of angels going up one side of the wall, coming down the other side of the wall, and then above you on the second floor, it's going to be projected up there also. He is he's telling you straight to your face. He thinks that he can get away with it, but he really, with him trying to get away with it, it's too obvious right now, because when Trump was talking about the wall in like they have this great wall. I remember him saying the one time over in San Diego, they got this great wall over in San Diego. And at that time, this was like 6 months ago, I'm putting two and two together, and it's coming up to that these are the projections. This wall, it's not a literal wall. Trump is not, is he going to show some parts of where he's building a wall? Yeah, of course, they will always do it literally and also spiritually. So literally, he'll build a wall up because you're supposed to build a wall in troublous times, according to the Bible scriptures that they are trying to play out. They're trying to play it out. Little did they know that the scriptures are actually going to come true. And the way that they've been playing it out to try to establish their vision, it's going to fail. It's going to fail because it's exposed as to what it is. So that wall up there is going to project the same angels and demons that are going to be projected on the walls on the left and the right. And before Kleck said that yesterday, I wasn't even thinking that we're going to see angels descending. I just assumed we were going to just see images floating up in the sky. That's it. He's the one that put that in my head. Now that makes more sense. Angels ascending and descending. Because it's going to be like the fallen angels are coming down from heaven to take over the earth and destroy and kill everybody. And they're going to be those holographic images that are roaming the streets. It's going to be one scary ass movie. So when those images hit the ground running, well, the main way to test to make sure that, when you see these images, right, and they're all running the streets, and it looks so damn real, just go out there and step in the middle of the image. Just go right through it, and you'll see that it's not real. And but then what if it is real? What if it's like a tank and you step out and it's like, I guess you'll find out, right? I know I'll find out. That's the scary movie. That's why Kleck, when he was inside of his animal clinic that they, I guess that's where they sacrifice animals, because when you're a top Luciferian head leading gang stalker like Jonathan Kleck is, and you're into blood sacrifice, animal blood sacrifices, don't you think that he would have like an animal clinic where you put animals to sleep, and then there's another table over there where you start slicing up the animal and you start cooking them and doing your blood sacrifices? I would think so. And on top of that, as he's in the clinic that he owns, he made sure for this specific time, because they played this out for so many years. 1010, his rapture video 6 years ago, you know, they had this planned out ever since Harold Camping thought that the rapture was going to happen, even though it was a spiritual rapture in 144. Well, actually, what I'm thinking now is, I think it was 24 elders that were conceived between that time, the 5-month period. Because I was reading the Bible while I was listening to it, and after the 5th seals opened up, you saw the souls of them that were beheaded for holding on to the testimony of the word of God, and they're the ones saying, how freaking long do we gotta wait? And they were given white robes. As like the 24 elders, because there's 24 elders and there's 4 beasts. The 4 beasts rest not day or night, but they're always saying holy, holy, and they're worshiping God. So the 24 elders, it's like the man-child was conceived and the 24 elders. Or was it just the man-child? Because after the 6 seals opened up, it says, because I might have had this all wrong, you know. After the 6 seals opened up, it says that that the angels seen that they were all the number of those that were sealed, and it was 144,000. So the sealing is 144,000 after the 6 seals opened up. Therefore, there's 144,000 that are waking up, and then once that 6 seals open up, they're sealed. But after the 5th seal, back in 2011, a man-child was conceived and then nourished for like 3.5 years. Like, in other words, in hiding, like just nobody knows. And then then there's a 42-month period where the 2 witnesses are tormenting them that dwelt upon the earth, and then they get killed in the street, and then 3.5 days they see their dead bodies. So, I mean, you know, the 14th, if there's that second 9/11 that still happens, even though I'm telling you it's going to happen, and it still does, well, I guess that's the bittersweet verse that you have to prophesy again. However, you're going to be dead in the middle of the street, because it's representing the 2 witnesses being killed in the middle of the street, at least with my own private interpretation. And their dead bodies lay in the street of that great city that's spiritually called Sodom in Egypt, where our Lord was crucified. And so from the 17th to the 18th, somewhere around there, they would start to, and now it's like, it's a real party time, because they're already looking at the dead bodies for 3.5 days. Once nobody rises back up on YouTube, once there's silencing with the truth, then after 3.5 days, which would land on October 21st. So is this the 10-day period starting today, 10/10, because it's 10, and then it's 10/10, and it's 10 more days of tribulation, because Satan's supposed to throw some of us into prison for 10 days to try us. But that 10-day period is the same 10-day period in Daniel, where it's look at the continents of our faces after these 10 days, because we're just going to eat pulse. Give us pulse and water to eat and drink, and let them, your servants, after 10 days, deal with your scared ass servants, the ones that have no idea what's really happening and are scared shitless. So deal with them accordingly. And so the 21st of October But there's, I don't know why I'm getting this 3 days of darkness with the sun dropping, because it's nowhere in the Bible. But because people have said it, so many people, it's like they're gonna literally play that out too. So I have a feeling that's like from the last 3 days, where it's like from the 21st to the 24th midnight, and then it's the open sky treaty that Trump was talking about. Now all of these things that they're saying now, I've already thought it. I had the feeling in my stomach that is telling me it's true. So I go with my thoughts and my gut. Then afterwards, the confirmation comes. Like Kleck, for instance, talking about the wall. I already knew in my heart that the wall meant the holographic sky, the screenery. And with Trump talking about it. So now Kleck is saying it. I said this probably a month ago, that after I realized, at first I thought Kleck had no idea that the sky's fake, and he's falling from the sky all the time. Now I know he knows for sure. And then I started to think, well, wait a minute, he's probably the one that, it's not probably, now the confirmation was yesterday. He is the one that has the patents for these angels and demons, that he has a lot of artwork that he does, that he brags about, that he has sold, made millions and millions of dollars with. His clothing line, Sketchy, that's his too, letting us know that he's going to kill us on the clothing line. His patent images of the sky, the holographic image, when I did the video 2 years ago, the sky opening and closing, got quite a few amount of thousands of hundreds of thousands of views. And because I seen it was a holographic show. Kleck just confirmed it yesterday that he is the one responsible for having at least the angel part ascending up and descending. So I continue to go with my gut feeling that Kleck is all involved. He was in the Air Force, in the military, because he probably even had to do, the killing where you got to get that under your belt. Kind of like Steve said, Prince Harry he was in the military, he had to do it, the killing first in order to get initiated. So I can see that happening. He's wearing his Air Force One hat. Air Force One, Trump's airplanes are going to drop from the sky, malfunction. They're going to blame it on the Democrats or ISIS. Same thing. And when you're in the Air Force, you're the Air Force. And as he's playing the principality of the air, Lucifer, I said he's playing that role. He is not. He's playing that role. So it's fitting that he's in the Air Force. He has skydived so many times because of being in the Air Force. And again, I don't know if he said that he is or not. I'm just telling you, I know it for a fact that he is and was and is not. So he drops from the sky, which means as they're up there setting up the scenery up there, when they set it up, and they have their parachutes, in case they slip and fall, they can just parachute out of they can just, they're good like that. So Kleck is definitely part of the Air Force. Air Force One, John F. Kennedy Boulevard, JFK, Jonathan Kleck, 17th Street and JFK assassination, Building 8, second 9/11, bank run. Everybody's talking about the bank runs, the banks, bankrupt. Just the word bank alone is the key word. 9/11, they're talking about that after they already celebrated the 18th year, because it's a 30-day period at least, maybe 33 days. Is it 33 days to the 14th, when the guy has the 14 on one hand and the fish on the other? Hillary's name with the 14 next to it. This is how they do it. This is why it's so obvious. This is why it's so easy to see it. The more you talk, Kleck, you're just burying yourself. So let's see your last video of the final Mark of the Beast video. I'm going to need at least an hour to do that one, because for in 1 hour that great city Philadelphia will be destroyed at building Bank 8 so we can collapse the economy and then start the mark of the beast system. That way nobody can buy or sell without that mark of the beast. Well, how about if I tell you beforehand what you guys are going to do and then stop it? That reminds me of a movie. I liked the movie, but it caught me off guard. Like it was one of those movies that I'm like, fuck, that sucks, man. It was what's that guy's name that plays the Joker? The old guy. He's always in the movies with Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, that guy. You know, he's Jack Nicholson. Yeah. Jack. He played The Shining, right? So there was this movie that it was something that he could see that nobody else could. And it was so frustrating for him because he knew that this guy was a child molester. I'm sure some of you know the movie. He was a cop. He retired. But before he retired, he was on this case with this guy somebody was going around raping little children, but he would befriend them first. And then he moved in, like he retired, he bought a gas station for that purpose. He literally retired, bought the gas station so he can keep an eye and find out who this creep was. This creep, okay, Jonathan Kleck. So this creep, because I'm making a parallel, this creep would befriend the children, and then once he gets them to, as something like he would leave a trail of like cookies or cupcakes with flowers or something, to leave a trail, and that's like his MO, and he had his group that he used to work with, his co-workers. They all set up a sting operation one day because he knew that the guy was coming. Because he had it set up. He knew that the guy was going to meet the little girl where the girl was at, and he was watching on the other side of the river where the girl was. She drove her bike down. She was 10 years old. He knew that he was going to show up, and that was the day that she was going to die, right? He knew that in his heart. And so what happened was, all his workers or his employees around are like, look, man, you got to stop. This is insane. This is insanity, because now the mom found out and drove up there and took the girl, and she was so pissed at him. He's like, and they all turned their back against him. Everybody turned their back against Jack Nicholson. Don't you know that at the ending of the story, that creep that was going to drive by to go and rape that girl and then kill her that very day, karma happened to him, because when he was driving down to go meet her, a tractor trailer turned over. I think it was a bunch of wood logs or something. A tractor trailer turned over, and something just went straight through the windshield and just decapitated him immediately. Killed him instantly. His car blew up on fire. And then because they're all leaving, right? And Jack, he's just like, fuck shit. He drives by, he sees the roadblock ahead of him, and he sees that because it was the car was like it was like a station wagon, kind of creepy, almost like a hearse, but he was a creepy. Oh, and of course he was a church pastor, just like Kleck, same exact thing. But you can see in his eyes, his patterns. He's so obvious. God gives you the discernment to figure these things out, and you go with it no matter who What says what, where, when, however, it doesn't matter. The point is, he knew, and he was the only one that knew in the end, that that guy got exactly what he deserved, which is death for raping and molesting and killing these little innocent little children. So when he drove by, he looked out, he seen it, and he knew that that's who it was. He seen the car, and the movie ended. I'm like, oh man, that sucks. All that time, he knew in his heart that he was dead on. And then God, him and God knew, and that's all that matters in the end, right? Isn't that all that really matters? God knows what you're doing. Karma, it'll get you. If you're doing what you're doing, Kleck, on the other end, I can't promise you that the next time you go skydiving, you will have a malfunction and you will splatter on that ground. I can't promise you that that won't happen. And then you'll hear in the news, like, really, it'll be a real news story. There was an accident, a skydiving accident, of some man in San Antonio, Texas, was skydiving, and his malfunction of the parachute, a great wind caused him to pass over into the ocean, and he splattered. So that's where I'm at. I can see so clearly that Kleck is involved more than I've ever thought. Just like Steve is involved more than I've ever thought. Now I know for a fact how much he's involved. I just didn't know how much Kleck was involved. Now I know. The more he talks, the more he just gives himself away. Now I know that how he's thinking is, he's thinking he's so slick. He's thinking that he can tell you straight to your face, sheep, that I'm going to kill you because I am the one. Imagine being me. Edgy. Oh, by the way, sketchy clothing line, they just have on their clothes. They would love to just show you how much they want to kill you to your face. So that's what this is all about. These people literally are saying, who can see us? Who can see what we're doing in the dark? They can't tell. They're too dumbed down. Everybody brushes their teeth with fluoride. You can't... Look, that's going to clog their pineal gland at once. And because we're so dumb that we think that when we cover the skies, God can't see his creation because the earth is just one big eyeball. And if you cover up the eye as God is above and you look down, they literally think God can't see them. Right? Do some Muslims believe, I heard this before, that if you get in your car and smoke a cigarette, like with your windows tinted, Allah can't see you. So you have to kind of like do things in the dark. It's what I heard. So God is inside of all of us, and we choose whether we want to listen to the angel, as Kleck would try to portray his upside down or right side up thing, or the demon. Kleck is telling you he is down with his demons. He's literally saying it to your face that he's down. I am down with my demons is what he's telling you. He's telling you that the clothing line sketchy is his. Nobody knows this besides me from the outside, and everybody else from the inside knows. So everybody that's watching from the inside, you guys are the ones that you guys are the ones that literally your jaws are dropping because of how I'm picking you apart. Because you guys see it, and I know it. The rest of my subs, maybe you're starting to catch on. Some are hired to act dumb when they know, which is worse for you in the end. It's worse for anybody that's involved right now with this shit. Trying to scare people to death. Like, I understand the part. If nobody gets hurt physically, fine. Fine. If it's a bombing and nobody gets hurt, fine. I'm fine with that. But if somebody gets hurt, if one person dies, Jonathan Kleck needs to get locked the fuck up immediately. because he's telling us to our face. He is so involved with everything that's going on, and he knows it. Ain't that right, Kleck? Playing out the false Messiah, playing out the angel of the Church of Philadelphia, trying to come to my hometown and frighten the people that live here to death. I'd rather destroy them spiritually, with the understanding of this second 9/11 is happening here in Philadelphia, proving it and showing it to them that it was said beforehand that it's happening, amongst a gazillion other things that I have proof of. All these things happen now in October, and if nothing at all happens, right? Here's my understanding, 100% faith that I know to be a fact in my heart. It's because it was exposed. How the hell can you continue to follow through with it when it's exposed? It's out there. It's out there. The information is out there. Everything I'm doing is recorded. Every picture I take is recorded. It's stored. The information is out there. Everybody who's involved. Now, if Stephen James DeShawn was that evil of a person and he didn't want the truth to get out there, my channel would have been shut down a long ass time ago. But because he knows that I'm getting my information directly from the source, he can't touch it. He has to wait until the time appointed. When the time appointed comes, that's when my channel gets shut down for a short period of time. Because certain people have to party for 3.5 days, and then after 3.5 days, because they don't realize that the Bible is talking about, it's a continuance, it's another 3.5 days. Because the dead bodies lie in the streets of the great city, spiritually called Sodom and Gomorrah, for 3.5 days. And all those that dwell upon the earth, they shall send gifts to one another, and they shall rejoice over these freaking 2 witnesses laying dead in the street for those 3.5 days. And after 3.5 days, the breath of life enters back in them. How else do you think they're going to party for 3.5 days? Once the party doesn't start until after 3.5 days of seeing their dead bodies laying in the street, because they're going to wait. So if it's from the 14th to the 17th and a half or 18th, and nobody rises back up, here comes the party. Kleck told you before in the July 4th video about Revelation. Him and Michael Spears sitting there with the table of heaven split right down the middle, representing the Liberty Bell, ringing a bell. Does that ring a bell? Hee hee hee. Yeah, it rings a bell in Philadelphia, the Liberty Bell, as you also have something about liberty he has in his containers. He has the Liberty Bell, I'm sure. Or not the Liberty Bell, but he has the Statue of Liberty and the tsunami. So he's going to be, it's also his artwork, the water. Ah, man, it all just comes. The scenery that you're going to see in the ocean outside is all of Kleck's best artwork on that wall that's going to be coming at you, that wall of deception. And then, like I said, the aliens. He drew up the aliens too. There's so many artists involved, but he's the main one. Because the aliens are going to zap the water down. That's what they're going to do, I'm pretty sure. So I don't mind so much if nobody dies. But spiritually dying, of course. I want everybody to spiritually die in Christ and stop being a damn liar. Just the lying part alone is the most sickening thing it is. Just stop lying, people. Stop lying to people. Like, let's get the show going. Nobody gets hurt. You guys are keeping a close eye. All these cameras that are going to still be working when the power's cut. You guys are here to protect us and them, to make sure nobody gets hurt, right? Isn't that the goal of what gang stalking is? You're giving power to hurt men for 5 months, to torture them, not to kill them, but to torture them. These are the 5 months coming up that Kleck thinks he's going to get away with, starting October 21st, because that's when he said the new Jerusalem comes. He's like, Oh, in Revelation 10, 21, Revelation 3. Yeah, that's it, 3. It says, I see New Jerusalem coming down. Because that would be 10:21. And then 3 days of darkness. You know, that's what that is to me. So he's been telling us the entire time. The Home Depot's getting rapture read. He. That was the last major news dominating event in his home state, Texas, which was referenced as the Home Depot being shot up. But then it was just because the guy got pulled over in Midland, Texas. And then Steve has his well drilled with Midland, Missouri or Michigan. Yeah, that's right, Midland. He's doing the same thing with his house. The siding goes on last. Kleck, the siding going on last with his house. Jacob's ladder going up there. Everything's the same. Dried in, the water sealed up, watertight. Remember, Steve, you're going to get your roof watertight, sealed up. Kleck got his watertight, sealed up. He's like so excited to yes, no water. It's sealed up tight. Why the fuck would you be so excited for that? It's just normal. It should be like, all right, good. Yeah, the water's sealed tight. No water. It's like you had this major water leak, this problem for years and years and years. That you are so excited that the water is sealed up now, Kleck, you know? And your holographic images going up one side of the wall and out the other. And then on the second floor, because that's what you built, the second floor. But it's really the second heaven, because this bullshit right here is what Trump is going to sign the Open Sky Treaty, because we're getting the fuck rid of all of it. Tired of this shit. So whatever. I don't care. I don't care, you know. I know in my heart that what I'm doing, exposing these elite clowns that are so obvious that they think they can tell you to your face exactly what they're doing, and you can't do shit about it. Even as Kleck's watching us right now, like, he fucking Robin. Oh yeah, you wait. Well, we're gonna do something about it. I don't know that God is in control, because I've never had an experience where God has just pulled the rug out from underneath me and was like, asshole, get in line, Kleck. Start acting more like John the Baptist. All right? Start acting more like him. Steve is already acting like John the Baptist to his colleagues, just not out in public. So if nothing happens whatsoever and the earth just starts to become peaceful for some reason, I'm fine with that too. I get rid of the liars that are on YouTube. Just start to let the flood cover you with truth, and just let it recede down, and then get rid of all the swamp. Drain the freaking swamp. Get rid of all these liars. Lock them the hell up. All these people that are colluding, get them locked the hell up and get them out of the way. And then let's just enjoy peace on earth. I'm fine with that.